Right, so we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Lions Lounge Lockdown, episode 23. Aiden O'Brien. Aiden, thanks for joining us, mate.
No problem, no problem.
This is a first for the channel. You join us, obviously, as a Sunderland player. How are you getting on up there? First off.
Yeah. Everything's gone smoothly. The players have been brilliant with me. As soon as I walked through the door, the staff, all the background staff, everything about it's been brilliant. So it's been smooth so far. Long may that continue.
It's a great move for you, mate, and well deserved as well. So you was brilliant for the club on the pitch and off it, and I'm sure the rest of the fans agree with me when we wish you all the best up there. I'm sure you'll get goals. Well, that's what you do. You get goals. But
Yes.
Today we're going to talk about your Mill career. 10 years of pro.
Yeah. Well,
See, you joined the club before that.
I was playing Sunday league, midweek league with my dad and my dad's team, and then got picked up by Mill at 15 for a trial game, just a trial game. Watford away, I'll never forget it. Watford away at their training ground. And literally, it was me and Toby Alabi up front. And I scored 2 that game, and that was it. Didn't look back. Just from then, it just blossomed into something special. Job
done. Who else came through sort of your age group?
No one actually came through my age group. It was only me in my age group. So it was a very good age group, but unfortunately, it was just me that made it through. Obviously, Toby Alabi got through, but obviously with the heart problems that he's had to give football up and become a good agent and stuff now. So he would have obviously been a pro as well. But if all of that with the heart didn't happen, but
you became a pro 2010. You became a pro. Season we got promoted. That would have been, wouldn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think I would have been about. I don't even know how old I would have been now. I think I would have been about 15 or so. And it was like, it was crazy. I'll be honest with you. The start and the end of the Mill regime for me has been nothing but brilliant. Like the whole thing, it's been from top to tail, has been absolutely brilliant. And I wouldn't have done it with any other team, and I wouldn't have changed anything either. So
that's good to know, mate. You made your debut you signed on your 17th birthday pro. Is that right?
Yes.
That would have been Kenny Jackett would have given you your first professional contract. KJ, what was he like?
KJ, brilliant man, brilliant manager, brilliant coach. He really believed in me at the time. He showed me that kind of belief and gave me that sort of confidence with Joe Gallen alongside him. And they gave me my first contract, which I'm ever so grateful for. And just from there, they kind of make me travel with the team every away game. Obviously not on the bench and stuff like that, but just to travel as a young lad is something special. It gets you used to the environment, how it works in around the changing rooms and stuff. So Kenny Jackett was the first to show me kind of the first team lifestyle.
Your first team debut, do you remember that?
Well, it wasn't the best. It was Wolves away. I think I come on after we were 4-0 down. I think I come on at the Molineux. I think it was 4-0 down, and we ended up losing 5-0. I think it was a cup game.
Not your happiest of hunting grounds, is it, Molineux? You got sent off there, didn't you? Remember that?
Got sent off, double yellow. Yeah,
the
Molineux. I'm gonna come back for them. I'm gonna come back.
We'll get onto that. But after that, you went out on loan for a bit. Did a few years out on loan. You didn't really. I'd say, what would you say your breakthrough season was? Would have been under Ian Holloway, wouldn't it?
Yeah, one on loan. Obviously, as a young lad, I would suggest any young lad from the age of 17 onwards to, if you're not getting a look in at the first team or anything like that, just straight away go on loan. It's massive. It's massive for development. And that's exactly what I did. Luckily, I went on loan to Staines Town. I went on to Hayes and Yedin. I went on loan to Torquay, Aldershot, Crawley. I went on loan to all these teams, and it just taught me how to become a man in the football industry. And without that, I don't know if I would be here today, because the reserve football these days is not as good as it used to be. For me, my opinion, than it was a while ago. So I think loans for the youngsters is essential in this day and age.
Yeah, definitely the way forward. Say 2014, 2015, you get a new 2-year contract from Ian Holloway.
Yeah.
Obviously, the fans have got their opinions of him, but Byron Webster, spoke very, very, very highly of him. Said he was a good manager and done good things with him.
No, I'm the same. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. In and around the training ground, he's just always trying to get everyone going, laughing, happy. He's just the life of the party. He's brilliant. He tries to get everyone like happy and bring their confidence out of everyone and make everyone smile before training and matches. And that kind of brings a lot of confidence out of certain people. And it did. And obviously it didn't work in terms of his managerial career entirely because, things happen. But he was brilliant with me. He was brilliant with the young players at the time. He gave me my first start at Derby away, which was absolutely massive. It was on my birthday. So Ian Holloway as a manager and as a man, I can't speak highly enough of him. He believed in me so much, along with a lot of other players as well. And he gave me my first actual chance starting away at Pride Park. Pride Park, it is Derby Pride Park, isn't it?
Yeah. They like changing quite often. Yeah, it's Pride Park at the minute. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was on my birthday as well, my 21st birthday, and he gave me that opportunity, and he believed in me. So yeah, I can't thank him enough for that.
Season of mixed emotions because you played 9 times. Obviously, you got your first 2 goals that season for the club, and then we get relegated. Do you remember your first goal?
Brentford away. Bosh. Yeah. I remember it clearly, actually. Martin Wolford, done a little trick down the line, dinked it back stick, and I was just in acres. It was just written, weren't it? It was written. The home fans, the away fans, obviously the Millwall fans were just all there. It was just perfect. It was written. And from then, it was kind of that was just it. Broke the seal and then just kind of started scoring from there. And
then, I think you got one away at Wolves as well. You and Jamie Philpott got a couple of goals.
Yeah. But we lost that. Did we lose that game?
Yeah, we lost that one. I think 4-2. But
yeah.
Relegation, and not your first season as a pro, but to be in that dressing room as much as you was that season, I would say that's probably if you agree, your sort of breakthrough season. Was that tough to take in your first year?
Yeah, but I kind of come in when halfway through. Well, not even halfway. I kind of come in when the damage was done.
Yeah.
Not to say I would have changed anything. I'm not saying I'm gonna, but the damage was really done already. We were kind of fighting straight away when Neil Harris took charge, and obviously he had a big ask of him to keep us up, and we almost done it. In all fairness, with a few results, I think we drew to Derby 3-3 when we were winning, if you can remember.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty bad trick, didn't I think?
At home, and I actually gave away a penalty that game. I remember. So Neil Harris took it on, and we went down, but we actually came back up within the next 2 seasons, was it not?
Yeah.
So Wembley 2 seasons in a row, wasn't it? It was Wembley 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah. So
yeah, we couldn't have asked for more, really. Yeah, we went down, but we shot straight back up, so it was brilliant.
The 2015-2016 season, our first season back in League One, I researched this. The strikers, the Millwall first team professional strikers for that season was yourself, Jamie Philpott, Alfie Pavey, Steve Morrison, and Lee Gregory. That's a decent investment in youth there from Harris, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, he you know what Neil Harris is like. He likes to play the youth. He was actually our manager. That's why he was our manager. I don't know if you know, he was our reserve manager before he got the first team job. So he said, if I get the job, lads, look, if you're doing well for me, you're going to come up straight away. Don't worry about that. So we always knew if he got the job, we'll get our chance. And rightly so, he did give us our chance. All of us, actually. He gave all of us our chances.
Yeah, well, mate, listen, your first season, again, I said to you just before we started, you actually, listen, I was there, we watched the games, the channel was running. So when you actually sit down and analyse this, it's actually, it's just ridiculous how well you did do. Your first season, so obviously, again, this is a bit of a mixed one because Neil Harris obviously wanted to get you in the side.
Yeah.
With the deadly duo up front scoring 40-plus goals between them, it's very difficult. So, yes, you wanted to be in the side. How did you feel about playing a position you'd never played? You know, you're not left-footed. I say it so many times.
I'm glad you said that.
You're not left-footed. You're not left midfielder. I used to say it every week in my videos.
I'm glad you said that.
That must have been good to be around there. But how did that feel being out on the wing?
Well, obviously we worked on it in training with the manager. I can't remember exactly, to be deadly honest. I can't remember exactly how it come across, how the left midfield role come across. But I think it was a case of what you just said. The Morrison and Gregory was basically unmovable. Let's be honest. You know, they were brilliant together. So me getting in there was not going to happen. Let's be honest. So the only next role really was available was the left. You know, it weren't really taken. You know, like it was just up for grabs. And basically, he looked at him and went, you know what, Aid, if you can play a few games in this left, you know, like you might actually enjoy it because you like coming inside with the ball on your right and hitting shots. I was like, you know what, let's go for it. Like, yeah, I'm up for that. No, no problem. And then I think probably the first 2-3 games, I scored a goal or two, and I was like, wow, this is all right. The manager, what he used to say to me, Neil Harris, is the reason why he played me on the left is because I used to sneak past the fullbacks. When the fullbacks switch off and the ball comes in from the right, I used to sneak in between the fullback and the centre half and just nick a goal. And he says, like, that's kind of a weapon for him. So he used me out wide there. Yeah,
but you did that so many times. You used to pop up in these little pockets of areas, and I thought maybe because you wasn't used to playing left mid, you sort of just wandering in the areas. But
exactly that, yeah, wander, yeah.
but you're supposed to say you got a brilliant positional sense, but yeah. But
well, yeah, it is.
Well, it was a bit of both, wasn't it?
It's timing. You can't just end up wandering and scoring 45 goals by wandering on the pitch.
Exactly.
You've got to actually know what you got to do.
A little knack you had where you used to pop up in these areas and then finish it off.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
which is credit to Neil Harris, by the way, for spotting that left midfield role. To be honest, even though I didn't want to fully play there, credit to Neil Harris for that. Yeah,
I mean, regardless, you didn't want to play there, and you can see it from both sides of the coin. You know, you're a striker, you want to be a striker, but like you said, Morris and Gregory, unmovable really. For the first 2 seasons, we'll get on to later on. But yeah, really, you've got the games under your belt, and you've got the experience and the goals to go with it in the first 10 games now. So although listen, you always did at Mill. We had a good attitude. You just cracked on with it. You never let your head drop, and you just did what you had to do. And 13 goals from left midfield, and some of the goals. I was watching the show reel that the club put out. Hat trick against Crewe.
Yeah, well, that was one of my best days. Yeah.
So let's talk about them. Let's talk about that day and them goals.
Wow, honestly, all 3 of them goals were absolutely blinders. Like without talking myself up here, and it was like. Yeah, it was just crazy. I weren't long on the scene either, really. I weren't really long on the scene. So it was just a magic moment, Neil Harris. I remember he goes to me, I don't know if you'll like this, but I remember he goes to me after the game, he went, oh, is that your first hat-trick? He put his arm around me, is that your first hat-trick? I went, yeah. He goes, I've had 6 of them. And so, we were laughing about it. So, yeah, I remember that. It was funny. But, yeah, the boys were brilliant. They all signed the ball. I still got the ball. So, yeah, I've got to get another 5 more to catch Neil Harris.
Is that your only one today? Yeah, of course. Another game, 2 goals away at Sheffield United. Won the game, 2-1 for us.
Yeah. Yes, that was a crazy, crazy game because we were odds against us, Sheffield United, Bramall Lane, they were a strong team. And we went there and got the points, and it was down to the 2 goals I scored, and it was actually crazy that we won that game because they were a really good side, and going away to win there was brilliant.
Mate, it was honestly so I keep looking at it, and the goals you got from the time you sort of exploded from that first season to come straight in the 2-15, 2-16 and score so many goals from left midfield, and then in later seasons went even better. But a question I always had, because I did always think, I know you're a striker, What is your actual position? Was you just off a striker, or was you a striker, or was you a target man, or was you a poacher, or?
Basically, I was definitely not a left mid, that's for sure. But let me just clear this one up. The left mid situation, I enjoyed every moment out there. Although I weren't my position, I enjoyed every moment out there playing for the Lions and for the lads and for the team and for the managers. I enjoyed every moment out there, and I gave it my all every week. And I wouldn't have changed a moment for that. But having said that, my position is not left mid, and I am a striker. So what type of striker I am? I'm not a big target man. I'm not going to be a Matt Smith where I'm flicking balls on and pin like a Lukaku and pinning people and rolling people. I'm more of a, linked striker, get in the box and sniff out a chance. So like a poacher, like if you put the ball in the box and the ball somehow comes anywhere near my proximity, I'm 9 times out of 10, I back myself that I'm going to put it in the net.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm more of a kind of finisher, poacher, linking kind of striker.
So if you another question I thought of that would be an interesting one. If you when you was at Millwall and you had the choice to play either up front with Morrison or Gregory, not who you liked better as a person.
Yeah.
I mean, in position wise, who do you feel you would have been suited better to play with?
Both really, because Gregory, first of all, Gregory would run the channel really well, which will allow space for me to pick up the ball and drive at the defence. So that will complement me.
Yeah.
And also, with Morrison flicking the balls on and me running behind, that also complements me as well. So both of them have their pros and cons and stuff so I couldn't choose really that one out of them two, because they were both kind of brilliant to play with. To be deadly honest, they were both brilliant in their ways to play with.
They were some great strikers at the club at that time. What I also thought was, you've been you don't want people to get injured, and but just you didn't get a break because you was next in line to go up front behind, obviously in front of Alfie Pavey and Philpott. We didn't have a massive amount of experience there, did we, with our strikers? So just a little hamstring tweak or just a little something or a suspension, and you would have been in. But there was literally no fucking break in them two, was there?
That's football, though, ain't it? Really, you can't go if this happened, if that happened, because if I scored 40 goals, I'd be at Real Madrid, So you can't look at it like that. So
yeah, true.
It's the way it is. I just cherish my time at Millwall. Whether it was left mid, up front a few times, whatever happened, I loved every minute of it, and I wouldn't change a second of it.
So 2015-16, obviously we get first time of asking back to the playoff final. You didn't start that game. Was you, after your contribution, was you a little bit disappointed maybe to not have started?
Massively. That was Bradford, wasn't it?
No, Barnsley.
Barnsley, sorry, yes. Yeah. That Bradford we won, didn't we?
We beat Bradford, but the first year you didn't.
Barnsley we lost 3-1 to Barnsley. Was it Barnsley? Oh, I'm getting it confused. Yeah.
Barnsley we lost 3-1. You didn't start that day.
Right. Yeah. I remember. I think I even played all the build up.
Yeah.
I think I played the whole build up to it as well, the semis and everything. And then I think the manager actually pulled me and said, "Look, I'm going to go with Shane Ferguson to give us more of a defensive kind of feel to the left side, because I think they had Marshall on the wing right side, who was quite good, and at the time he was on fire. So I think that was what he was kind of his logic behind it. But looking back at it, obviously at the time I was gutted, because I think I scored 13 goals that season, set up a few, and it was one of my breakthrough seasons, and I just wanted to play at Wembley. Coming out of Wembley, starting at Wembley, I was gutted, to be honest, but I respect the manager, Neil Harris, so highly. I'm not going to question his decision and hold it against him. He's the manager at the end of the day, give me my chance, so I respected his decision.
You got on the pitch, come on at left back, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I come on everywhere at Millwall other than my position, really. But yeah, that wasn't a good day. Let's forget about that day.
Yeah, he was. What was the feeling like in the dressing room after? Everyone was gutted, weren't they?
It's just such a big build-up. all the season, playing all them games, scoring all them goals, all them big moments, to get to one final moment and then it just crashes down on you. It's just so hard to take. But to be fair to us, we come back the next year and we got promoted through Wembley. So you got to give it to all of us, you know. You got to give it to us for that.
Well, that must have been, you know, it must be on the minds that you got there last year. So it makes it even that bit harder, doesn't it? It makes
Exactly.
That a little bit harder.
Exactly.
Right. So 2016, 2017. Another 15 goals from you from left midfield. 51 games you played that season. The Deadly Duo get another 36 between them. You only scored one less than Steve Morrison that season. Playing left midfield. Not bad, is it? Not bad when you actually look at stats.
Well, listen, stats don't lie. That's one thing. Yeah. What can I say? It was a good 2 seasons, really. Good 2 seasons, especially from left midfield. You know, a lot of people will look at my stats and go, "Oh, yeah, he's not scored a lot. He's not scored." They don't really know I've been playing left midfield my whole career at Mill. You know, like at the time, without being a bit big-headed, there weren't really much midfielders scoring that many goals. Do you know what I mean? So it was special for me and for the club, and obviously because I was scoring goals from left midfield, the manager didn't want to tweak it and push me up front, because he was like, why change something that's working, kind of thing. So it kind of killed me because I was doing so well on the left that he didn't want to change that, because he's like, no, stay there, you're doing all right. So if it weren't working, you could have gone, maybe would have went go up front.
Any chance here. Yeah, he was a victim of your own success there.
Exactly, exactly.
Another 15 goals. Let's talk about some of the squad members at that point. Let's talk about Big Byron, because I know you and him got on well. And he said he was your personal assistant, your accountant, your chef. He said
Oh, Byron. Oh, man. He's a top bloke, man. He is a top bloke. From, he's when I first bought my flat in Bromley, he set up everything for me. Literally, we sat in Bromley Starbucks for about 5-6 hours, and he was setting up my council tax. He was setting up this. He was setting up my mortgage. He was literally doing everything. I didn't have a clue about what was going on. So, yeah, when he means personal assistant, that's what he means by that. He used to set up everything for me, insurance, everything. But other than that, mate, besides that, I mean, he's actually a brilliant, brilliant lad, like on the pitch, off the pitch. And between us, we've had some cracking nights out as well. We've had some cracking nights out, yeah. So, yeah, I can't say a bad word about him, really.
Yeah, he said to me as well, when he first came to the club, he used to see like you, Fred, and Marlon always bouncing around together. He said you was really close with those two as well.
Yeah, them two are brilliant as well. The banter we have when we were all together, we just used to banter every single day. Honestly, if there was a camera in the corner in the changing room, it was brilliant. The amount we used to banter was brilliant, and I still love them two to bits. And yeah, hopefully they can carry on doing well for both clubs.
It's a little bit of a similar situation, you know. He wasn't as successful as you at Millwall, Fred, but Fred, you know, he was another one that used to frustrate me that he didn't really get. I mean, at least you played. He didn't even really play, did he? And I thought he was decent. Definitely had potential.
I'll be honest, he's got bundles of talent. You know, like he didn't get a good fair crack. Well, I don't know. I don't know the stats, but what I'm thinking of, I don't know if he got a fair crack at Millwall. You know, like big run of games. You know, to kind of find his way. But
you need sort of.
You need 15, 20 games. You need 15, 20. Because if you get 5 or 10, listen, the first 5 to 6 games you play for a club, you're finding your way. You're finding about linking up with certain players, how they move. It's all right training with them every day, but it's different on a match day. Training and a match day is completely different. Like, you know, it's so different, as you all probably know as well. So, yeah, he's gone to Wickham. He's actually doing really well. He's got promoted. So, fair play to him, you know. And he'll be at the Den next year. So, you'll be able to see what his potential's like. Let's see what he's like.
He'll come back to haunt us, mate. I know he will. Because he was a good player. But, so, I mean, this season, it was a brilliant season for us. Not only promotion, but a brilliant cup run as well. You played every part of that cup run. Let's talk a little bit about that. Bournemouth, Watford, Leicester.
Well, and then there was Tottenham after that.
Tottenham, yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave that one. But Bournemouth, Watford, Leicester, I think we actually battered them, didn't we?
Yeah.
We battered all three of them.
Yeah.
There's us thinking like, oh, this is going to be tough. Nah, we gave ain't it when people didn't want to take a throw in from the sideline and stuff, weren't it?
That Chilwell didn't want to.
Chilwell.
Yeah.
I remember he was like, no, I don't want to take it. Yeah, that's how much of a fright the Millwall fans give players when it's packed like that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't understand as fans how much Millwall need you, because as you can see in the lockdown, it just weren't the same, was it? Like, let's be honest. With Millwall full house behind them, who knows? They probably would have gotten the playoffs. I reckon they would have. And that them cup games was a full house. They were a full house, and that's probably why it gave us that extra yard to kind of give them the beating that they deserved on the day.
Mate, we'll get onto the second cup run further down in a couple of years' time. But that day you scored that second goal against Brighton, I reckon that's one of the loudest I've ever heard it in there. What's it like to be on that pitch and that noise?
Mate, that is the loudest I've ever heard it. It was incredible.
Unbelievable.
Well, for me, scoring, that was the loudest I've scored. The loudest goal I've heard score from me. It was unbelievable. It was like, I remember Jed ran down the line and like he cut it back, and I just got across my man and tapped it in, and it just blew up, didn't it? It was like,
it's unbelievable.
Crazy. It was crazy. Honestly, it was like, yeah, it was just crazy. And hearing the fans, like, especially Mill growing up, coming through the ranks there and doing all the stuff to get to where I got to, hearing the fans kind of chant your name and cheer and go crazy when you score is so special. And you take it for granted sometimes, because when you score a few goals in like, you kind of like take it for granted. But you never forget really the first and second one. And to be honest, I'll take the way Millwall fans cheer for the boys when they score to the grave, because they are so passionate with their celebrating. It's incredible.
Mate, and you've led me on to it well, because I've written down some of my favourite goals of yours from that season. Let's start with it, and I thought it was a pivotal moment in our season as well, because we were sort of 8th, 9th, not really doing a lot at this point. Bury away. What a day that was.
It weren't as such rah. It was more limbs. It was more like, wow, we just pulled it back from, what was we, 2-0 down?
2-0 down with 15 minutes to go.
I was on the bench that game, I remember. I got dropped. I got dropped that game.
Well, Harry Smith started that. Harry Smith started that up front.
I think I got dropped for him, maybe.
Yeah, he must have.
And basically, we were 2-0 down. I think I come on 2-1. Then I come on. Sean Williams scored a pen, or I think he scored was that the first or the second?
That was the first.
Who's
I
second?
think Callum Butcher scored the second.
Callum Butcher scored a second, and I'm telling you, as soon as I tapped that one in, there was no other place I was going other than straight into them fans. I was pushing police out the way. I was like, get out of the way, get out of the way. Like, if you could see the footage, full footage, I'm inside the fans like this, like going crazy. It was just, I don't know what made me do that, by the way, but that's football, ain't it?
You probably haven't seen it, but there's a video. I actually had a GoPro like on my chest. There's a
No
video
way.
of when you score it, and then me and my boy go running down there. I'll put it in this video.
Come on, then we're fucking alive now, aren't we? We're alive now. Imagine we score now, that would be an absolute joke. Come on!
Mate, what's the day? And I always said, like, you've gone into the Millwall Away Day Hall of Fame for jumping in with the fans. I remember you sitting in the middle going, yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. And then I almost I was like that. I was handcuffed after. I was handcuffed. I was handcuffed. Did you watch the video back?
Oh.
That was one of the biggest days. That was one of the biggest away days.
Another big goal, Charlton at home. We've done a 3-1 that day.
Yeah.
What, header?
Header. Not one of my strong points, scoring headers, but take that. Charlton at home. Before the game, I was like, oh, I think Tony Craig, like, this is massive. Like, we ain't losing here, lads. Like, we ain't losing here. And then he made me kind of feel like how much of a big game this is. Yeah. And obviously it showed on the day how much we was up for it.
Another brilliant goal. Wimbledon away, New Year's Day. Remember that one? Yep.
Barring in. Before that game, actually, a bit of inside information. Training before that game on Friday, Byron Webster was like to me, hey, you get in some brilliant positions, and like you try to like either pass it or try to set someone up. Just shoot. I was like, yeah, you're right. He's like, mate, if it goes over the bar, it goes over the bar. Just what I want you to do, Aiden, next time when we play Wimbledon, get out your feet and shoot. I was like, you know what? No problem. That's why, if you see the video back, I run from the shot all the way to jump on Byron Webster.
Yeah.
That's why I do that, because he tells me to do the shot.
And pay your fucking council tax as well.
Yeah, and pay my council tax.
Now, there's another goal you scored here. 2 really good goals. And one of them was a day you got the chance to play up front. I think that Morrison was injured. And I was obviously, by the way, thanks to your dad, Dave, because he set this up for us. And I was talking to him about a few of the goals you scored. Scunthorpe at home. Do you remember that goal? It was like
volley.
No, that was Northampton at home.
Oh, that was
Scunthorpe. It was at the Cold Blow Lane end, and you just sort of flicked it from outside the.
Yeah. And outside the foot, yeah.
If someone like Messi had have scored that goal, people would have been raving about it. But you played up front that day, and you played really well.
Well, maybe that should have stayed that way. I don't know. But I don't know. Like, I was just happy to kind of be out there and just be playing. You know, I weren't really, as Neil Harris would know, and other managers I've played under knows, I'm not really one to be moaning and going, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? I'm just, happy go Larry. If I'm playing, I'm happy go Larry, and I just want to score as many goals as I can. And at the time for Mill, I was doing that, so I was happy.
Everyone's a winner, mate. So we make the playoffs. Bristol Rovers, final without a season. We just about made the playoffs. We 7th going into that. It wasn't looking like it was going to happen. But when it did happen, that's when I thought, you know what? Maybe this is going to be our year now. What was the
Big Hutchie, wasn't it? Big Hutchie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just basically, I think we were waiting on Southend result as well, or something like that. Yeah. And they lost, I think, or I can't remember exactly, but we needed to win. I knew we needed to win. So we went out second half, or they went out second half. I was on the bench and they brought it home. So fair play to the lads. And from that day, as you just said, as soon as we creeped in, I knew we were going to win. As soon as we creeped in.
And then Scunthorpe at home playoffs, very uneventful. Scunthorpe away was a brilliant performance from the team, I felt. You played a part in a couple of those goals.
Yeah. It was Scunthorpe at home was a bit of a boring one. I think they were playing for the point, They were playing for the point to take it home, and didn't work for them because we absolutely battered them at their place. And it was, as you said, a brilliant moment.
Go on, Gregors! Fucking hell! Go on, Aiden! Go on, Aiden! Don't fuck about! Oh, finish it!
Because that secured basically the next stage. Was at Wembley next stage, wasn't it? So
Wembley.
It's secured Wembley.
I remember we'll talk about the game and the victory, but I just remember thinking to myself the next day when I saw all the footage back, when I just kept watching it and repeating it over and over again, no one enjoyed themselves that day more than you. You had the GoPro. You had the hat on. You just absolutely loving it, weren't you?
You think that was enjoyment? You should have seen behind the scenes. we were enjoying ourselves. I think we flew out to Marbella the next day. We just booked it on the day. Yeah, we just booked it on the day. We were like, who wants Marbella, lads, in the change room, Wembley? People were like, yep. Like, it was crazy. Yeah, it was mad. It was so good. It was so good, honestly. And for the fans, they must have loved that as well. Like, it was so packed, and just imagine it happening now. I know it's you still get promoted, but imagine it happening now, obviously, without the fans and stuff. It's not the same, is it? No. So luckily, we got promoted with all the fans there, and it was just brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
Would you remember the game, really?
Yeah, I do, actually. I think Jordan Archer made a brilliant save to keep us in the game. And that could have been a whole different kettle of fish if I think it was Billy Clark that ran through for them. Clean through from a corner. I think it was from their corner. He ran clean through. We're all trying to chase him back. And Jordan Archer pulled off an absolutely blinding save. And then, that was it. The rest was history. Morrow scored the other end. Boom. 1-0.
And then you're off to Marbella the next day.
Done.
You were out on that for a while, didn't you?
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Right, so our first season back in the Championship, we finished 8th. Again, you was not as if
in and out.
Yeah, because I mean, now this is what we spoke about before, and I'm not slagging any players off, I don't expect you to, but Tom Elliott joins the club to start off, and then further down the line, Ben Marshall joins the club. So you end up losing the sort of position that you'd adopted to Marshy. I mean, he was brilliant, but if you look at both where those players are now to where you are, was you a little bit pissed off that Tom Elliott joined the club?
No, not. I'm not pissed off ever for anyone joining the club, but the only
not from Tom Elliott's point of view, be like thinking, hang on, I've done I've done my bit here now, and like any chance of going to where I should be up front.
Of course, I was still optimistic about playing up front. I was still optimistic, but I just feel like it kind of come in like a bit. I used to play a lot every week before we went up, and then it kind of started going like that. It started going like that after a while, and I just wish I played, as you just said. I wish I played more games for Millwall up front. I wish I just get given that chance to go play up front, because who knows? Like, I'm not going to say I'm going to double my tally, but if I could score 15, 13 and 2 from midfield, it's only right that I'll probably score more up top. And I just really, really wish I had a full season at Millwall up top to see how much I would have scored and how well I would have done. But I just never got it. Just never got it.
If before you left Millwall, I mean, we'll get on to the Gary Rowett era later on. But if Gary Rowett had said to you, look, I'll give you a 5-year deal and you're going to play every week, but you're going to play left midfield, would you have taken it? Or did you get to the point where you just thought, I want to play up front there, mate?
Yeah, I'm exactly where you're saying right now. I can't be playing left midfield out of position my whole life, because one, I don't really enjoy it that much, to be honest. Like, I want to be right next to the goal, the opposition's goal, and I don't want to be, as you know, for Millwall, I'm mostly on my own in my own penalty area. I'm mostly sorry for my language. I'm mostly challenging their wingers and trying to tackle their wingers. And then when I get it and they give it to me, I'm on my penalty area. I've got to try to run 70 yards and try to make something happen.
Yeah, we wasn't really a possession sort of side, was we? So you had to do a lot.
That's not my game. Yeah. That's not my game. Like, I'm not gonna be sprinting down the line and yeah, I can beat players, but that's not my game. I want to be in and around the box and use my energy wisely in the box to create something and shoot. To be defending and stuff, that was all new to me. So I want to go to, obviously, a club like Sunderland now, which they have told me you're going to be playing 9 or 10. That's your position. he believes that I'm a utility man. He's seen me do it for Millwall, but my main positions are 9 and 10, and I can't wait to get going and just kind of have a season of just playing in the position I love.
Well, if you had a seed, like, you know, I know that wasn't a real situation. I just said it was just what if you did say that, and you know, like you say, you're ambitious in your own career. You'd be wondering what if, wouldn't you? Always, if you never even tried going up front.
Well, that's the thing. I'll still always wonder to the day I die now. What if for Mill? Always, what if? But you can't change that now. Like, can't change that. I've always said I want to play up front for Mill to managers, like knocking, and it didn't happen. That's it. Like, I don't hold no grudges. I don't hold no.
No, it's good,
anything
mate.
against anyone.
All roads lead you to where you are now, anyway, and you're happy. So
yeah, exactly. But I would just love to play up front for Millwall, and it didn't happen, and didn't get the season. But we'll go again at Sunderland. We'll go again.
Yes, mate, definitely. Hopefully, we'll see you at the Den the season after the one up this one.
Well, yeah, we're getting promoted this year. Trust me.
Well, one of my best mates is a Sunderland fan. He'll be happy. He'll be happy to hear you're ambitious with it. But I'm sorry, getting back to the 2017-18 season, I've picked out the Leeds game.
At home.
Yeah,
away.
Home. You scored away as well. You scored away as well, didn't you? But the
double.
The home game was another game where it was packed. I remember I was in the director's box that day because they let me in there.
Yeah, that was close to Brighton. The way it went off. That was close.
Yeah,
that was close.
It's a great photo of you and like running away, celebrating. Because
we know how much Leeds and Millwall don't get on, and I think it was a late goal as well. I think it was like an 80-minute goal. It was 0-0. It was tough, and it was literally, I think Fred got it, poked it to me, and I just tapped it in the net. Happy days. 1-0, Bosch. Millwall 1, Leeds 0.
Yeah, man, that was a mad season. Our first season back, the momentum just seemed to carry on, and finishing 8th for a 17-game unbeaten run. Tim Cahill comes back to the club. It was just, Was there a real? There must have been a real belief that we could have, got promoted because we came close to the playoffs. I think it went down to the last day.
For sure, yeah, we were on a roll. Yeah, the thing is about Millwall is that we're not necessarily world beaters, players-wise, but because we're so together and tight-knitted as a group, it gives us an edge on other players and other opponents. You know, we're so tight-knitted as a group. Well, we were. I'm saying it like I'm a Millwall player. We're so tight. At the time we were so tight-knitted as a group, and it just gave us an edge every game. And you could probably see it on the pitch that season as well. We were just rolling up and beating teams.
Yeah, mate. Would say Leeds. Until you said Leeds home or away, I forgot that one. 4-3 away. What a day that was! I think you got the open, didn't you?
Header, far post, kicked it off, kick-started it off for the lads, and then it just got really eventful from there.
That was madness, wasn't it, that day? I actually wasn't there that day because I just had an operation. Just absolutely nutty turnout.
You missed a good one.
So then that season ends, another progressive good season. But the 2018-19 season, Tom Bradshaw then joins the club. Where's your head now? Are you thinking, was you at any point thinking, I might need to get away here?
I knew that at that time, without sounding a bit harsh on myself, I knew the manager didn't really fancy me up top, but at that time, he kept bringing in strikers, and I just knew he didn't really fancy me up top. He thought I was a good player, of course, good player, but he probably didn't trust me enough up top, or something along them lines, and that's fair enough. And
did you ever pull him up and say, "Look, I'm sort of, I want."
Me and Neil Harris had a great relationship. I could pull him up about family issues and home issues and any issues, and we had such a great relationship. And he used to actually come up to me and go, "Aid, I know you want to play up front, son. Just I know you want to play." Just like we were so like, he knew I wanted to play up front, and he did give me a few runs up front. To be fair to him, he did give me a few runs, but I just wanted that season, whether it was under Neil Harris, whether it was under Gary Rowett, whether it was under Ian Holloway. I just wanted the season. it didn't happen. And
Yeah. I think, again, you know, I'm not going to slag him off because I love him and I'm trying to get him on the show. But Steve Morrison, as good as he was, at this point, he was past his best and his legs were starting to go, in my opinion. So that was at the point where, you know, I definitely feel that you should have got a chance. I mean, I'll be honest. I used to always back you on the show, and some people go, "He's shit. He don't do nothing." I said, "He scores goals. A striker."
Hardest thing to do on the pitch, by the way.
It doesn't matter if a striker doesn't do anything else other than a score a goal. That's their job. And I felt at Millwall, like everyone used to go, Gregory was brilliant, but he used to do so much work everywhere else. I used to think our strikers used to have to work too hard to create. They shouldn't, you know, they're not there to create the chances as much. They're there to put them away. And I just felt that we didn't really create a lot of chances either.
No, you used to literally try and you had to kind of pull them out of your a-hole, really, because they weren't coming flying in, were they? They were like one chance. You get probably half a chance a game, and then if you don't take it, see you later. Next game. Yeah. Like it was that hard to kind of come by.
So we just avoided relegation that season, and we also had another unbelievable cup run. You played well. We obviously got to the quarterfinals. I think Fergie pulled us out an hole in the first one, 2-1 away, 2-1 at home to Hull. But the next round, the fourth round, Everton at home. That was on my birthday. That was. What
a game that was. That a night game. That was a night game, wasn't it?
It was a night game, yeah.
I think we battered them that day, didn't we?
We
played really well. We played really well. I think I remember. Gregory scored the first one, didn't he? A great header. And then was it Murray Wallace? And then Richarlison scored. And then Murray Wallace scored the second one, didn't he?
No, Cooper scored the second.
Cooper with a hand.
Yeah, the hand of God.
With a hand, yeah. I remember it, the hand. Yeah, that was it. Oh, man.
Big Murray.
Big Murray,
What's he like, the big unit?
Oh, he's sound. Such a nice guy. For such a big guy, he looks like Terminator. He's the most friendliest guy ever. Honestly, he's the friendliest guy ever. Oh, he's so brilliant. To be fair, everyone is at Millwall. It's just a brilliant lads. You started the game. Was you on the pitch when he scored the winner? Are you still on? No, you weren't on. I played right that game. I played right side, and I think I come off around 70, and he scored late, didn't he? He scored like 80 something off, I think.
The next wasn't the next round. It was the quarterfinals. Brian at home. I mentioned it earlier, but I'm not worried about talking about it again because what a good day it was. Your goal, which you've already spoke to us about, 2-0 up. I remember you run to the TV camera and all, didn't you?
Yeah.
You give a little kiss, or did you give a little one of them? I can't remember what it was.
I just went like, and all that. It's just when you score, you do silly things.
What's the worst celebration you've ever done?
Honestly, I've thought about doing loads of bad ones, but I've just never come across to do it. Like a few dances and that, but not at Mill. We won't go down well.
Yeah, but I remember that day. It was just a mad day. Like it was unbelievable. 2-0 up. Then do you remember it absolutely hammered down?
Yeah, it was torrential. It was
just
terrible.
Just out of nowhere. And then, what was it? 5 minutes to go when they got back in.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, that was. Them days, I'm gonna be telling my grandchildren that. Honestly, I'm gonna be telling my grandchildren, showing them the videos. It was that good of days. Them days there were just brilliant.
But Dave Martin dropping that one in. Don't show your grandkids that one, no.
No comment.
Was you on the pitch for the penalties?
Nah. You should know better. I don't last full nights at Mill. They dragged me off. They dragged me off at 60. Don't know why, but they dragged me off at 60.
The only penalty I remember was Jake Cooper's. Fucking nearly killed.
I remember. Over, right? It was over, yeah.
Well, I bet the players were devastated after, but only in the dressing room.
Yeah, it was one, weren't it? It was one. It was there. I think they scored 2 in the last 5 minutes or so. It was crazy. Man. Absolutely crazy.
So then, the 2019-20 season just gone. For me, it seems like 3 years ago, doesn't it? The amount of time the season lasted. But Neil Harris publicly says Aiden O'Brien's going to get his chance up front this year. which you did do. You started first game of the season. You played up front with Matt Smith, didn't you? I'm sure.
Can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember. Who was it against?
I'm going to say Preston. Yeah, Preston. I remember he had a bit of a system where he played you and Matt Smith up front at home, and then away.
I remember, yeah.
He played Bradshaw and Bavardson, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that game.
So now, I mean, still more players coming in. And did you go? What made him finally say, right, I'm going to give you the responsibility? Had you been on him about it, or?
He just knew from years. He knew I was a striker. He knows I'm not a left midfielder. He knows me well. And I think he just thought, you know what, give the boy a chance, you know. I don't remember exactly how much of a run I got, though. That's the thing.
No, he's like it's like all football now. Like it's about a squad system, isn't it? Where you'll have one formation at home, a different one away. So you and Matt Smith played the first couple of games up front together. And I'll be honest, I wasn't sure it really works, but every time you and him played up front together at home, we won. We won 1-0 against Preston. We won 1-0 at home against Sheffield Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, we did. We didn't actually lose. Yeah, I remember that. The first two big games as well, Preston and Sheffield Wednesday. I thought we'd done all right. You know, we actually won the game. That's all that matters. You know, it's not always about scoring goals. It's always about it is always about winning games. And if you don't score the goals, it doesn't really matter as long as you win the game.
So I think it's the most consistently you'd been a striker at Millwall. I think the left midfield for you was then done. Do you know what I mean? And you was always going to be a striker. And then Neil Harris resigns. Yeah, what was it like for you when Neil Harris left the club? Was you shocked?
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard because he's been there from the start with me, and he's such a big part of my Millwall career, and he gave me all my chances. Really, he was just such a big part of my life, really. And for him to leave, and it was hard. I did text him, call him, and stuff, and yeah, he knows he will be missed by me at the time as well. And yeah, he's gone on to Cardiff role now, and he's doing brilliantly. So fair play to him. Wish him all the best.
You're not as nice as me. You're not much of a Sorry, you're a nicer person than I am, was what I meant to say, because I'd have been at points, as I said, Tom Elliott coming in, John Danny Bavardson coming in and getting games in front of you. I wouldn't have been as diplomatic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But you win some, you lose some, and at the time he thought it was best to choose. He chooses his best team. He believes at the time. He's not doing it out of spite. And
it's not personal.
Not personal, and that's why you can't really argue with it.
So Gary Rowett comes in as the manager.
Yeah.
Where was you at your point in your head with your situation at this point? Would you think try and impress?
I was like happy days. Yeah, let's go, let's have it, let's go. And then he come in. I can't remember exactly, but I was literally in and out. Like I was playing like every 10 minutes. I was getting on for 10 minutes and stuff. I was like, he must not be having me. You know what I mean? I'm not playing. And then I look back and the stats. I think I scored for him 3 or 4 goals in 8 games in the space of coming on in the last 10 minutes.
Oh.
So if you look at it, I probably should have been given a crack. But things as you said, personnel, different managers like different things, and it just weren't meant to be. And we had that convo. I just said, look, if I'm not going to play here, can you tell me now if I can leave, or you're going to give me a new contract? And we just come to a formal agreement and just said, look, let's leave it here and go our separate ways.
What was that like, the realisation that you was going to be finally leaving the club?
It was incredible. In a way, I was like kind of hoping he went, no, yeah, you're staying. Yeah, but it was time, I think, I was just there, I was been there so long, part of the furniture at the club. I've been there so long. it was just a thing where I needed to go and relight my career, and that's what I'm here to do at Sunderland.
Yes. What was that like? What's your last memory of sort of leaving the club? What was the last game you actually played? Because was you not fit towards the end then?
No, it was Bristol City. Bristol City was the last game. I think it was at home, or Forest at home. Can't remember. It was something before the lockdown. It was before the lockdown, because I had a little niggle on my quad, which stopped me from playing all the lockdown games. But I would have loved to have had a little send off with Huddersfield away with the fans, and just kind of give it a little wave and stuff like that. But you know, I got a good send off via Twitter and stuff, so fair play.
Well, like I said, listen, you've been brilliant for the club, not just on the pitch, but off it as well. And everyone wishes you the best. When I saw your Insta story, and you was outside the den when you're leaving. I was a little bit like, it's horrible. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
Like, you leaving, it's horrible. But like
it's not
you've moved on now, and definitely the right time in your career. And I'm confident you're going to not prove people wrong, because people know you can score goals. But I'm sure you'll be happy you're doing it in a position that you're best suited to. At the end of every interview, ask a standout memory for you from the club. I know there's been a lot. But what if you could pick? I don't know,
my first goal, Brentford away, promotion, 1,000,000%. My first hat trick, and my first start, Derby away. Them four there are like, they were the moments for me. You know, that it's make or break. You know, you could start a game for Millwall. It doesn't mean you're going to carry on becoming a footballer. I could have easily have, you know, messed it up, you know, and then who knows what would have happened. So it was such a big moment for me, and all them moments there were massive moments for me. And
I always call you the onion bag, because you didn't know what an onion bag was. If you could pick your favourite goal, what's your favourite goal from all your time at Millwall?
My favourite goal was, it has to be Bury away. It has to be. It has to be, really. It can't really be anything else. It's just the whole thing, the scenes, the comeback, everything about it. It's got to be that.
And that just shows how good, for the people that was there that day, was one of them, how good that, you know, the goals you scored and the stadiums you scored in, to say, like, you know, Bury away in a sort of a nothing League One game. That's how good it was. Fucking unbelievable that day.
Unbelievable.
And finally, if you could have a night out tomorrow, right, with three of your ex-Millwall teammates, you got to take three with you. You can only take three. Who are you taking?
I'll take Byron. I'll take Byron, Gregory, Sid Nelson.
Sid Nelson, yeah, and Gregors.
It's a good group, that. It's a good group. It's a good group, them four there. Us four there is a great group.
Well, mate, listen, I really, really appreciate your time. I know this is the first time I've actually think we've got a current player on, but that's the sort of, I said to people on social media, because a lot of people are asking where's the interview. I said, look, he's gone up there, but he still said he's going to do it. So really, genuinely wish you all the best, mate. I'll be looking out to see the old onion bag appearing up on the goals on Sky, and we might see Dan again in 2 years, hopefully.
I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate it. Don't worry. Anytime with this stuff, I don't mind. Anytime.
Legend. Cheers, Aiden. Enjoy your dinner, mate.
No problem, mate. Appreciate it.
Top man. See you, mate.
See you, mate. Bye-bye.